I'm seeing financial tangible results. I like that it's a new company doing things differently. It's a disruptor. I like the high automation in the company, but I also like the human factor. Elkem is a materials company. We mainly produce metal, ferrosilicon, microsilica carbon. We deliver critical materials for a sustainable transition, and we do it in a sustainable way. We did it with CPA Global for the patents, and for the trademarks, there was a time where we did it directly with the agents. But then we chose CPA for trademark renewals because we had role integrated with the IP management system. There was a huge acquisition from Clarivate, acquiring systems like iPendo, so everything was integrated. So it made it easy for us. Everything worked very well. I like the people I worked with. Everything was good, it was just the cost. What I saw from CPA, they tell you what is the service fee, the country fee, the official fee. But what I sometimes realized is that in some countries, you don't need an agent. And then I still had to pay a country fee. And that was not necessarily €2, it was more. So these things started to add up. Also, it looked to me that the exchange rates were quite unfavorable for us. But it's not just for me, but for all the customers. But also CPA was, in my view, acting as a bank because I pay before and then they invoice the client. And also when you do that, you're carrying a risk and you are also putting the money before. So I can also understand that they take premium for that. But it became too much. The cost was the main reason to look somewhere else. I knew of some established players. The downside with that is that I needed to use the IP management system in order to have it integrated. And I didn't want to change because that's a huge change and it takes so much energy. And at some point, of course, I have to change my IP management system because it's becoming obsolete. But I didn't want to do it at that point. And what I liked about renewal that I actually saw on LinkedIn, I was like curious because they looked to me as they were a disruptor. The CEO has a background in finance, and I liked that there was a lot of young people. And I said, they are obviously doing things in a different way. I wanted to learn more. I was in Copenhagen once. I visited the office. It looked to me that it was a highly technological company, a lot of programmers. So I said, well, they have control. It's not manual. There was also some emails, but this is after I decided to change. I appreciated that there was a lot of control and a human in the loop, like, we have this data, you have the data, we need to check, and you wanted to make sure everything was just exactly as you needed. And that gave me trust. Okay, this is going to work because they are thorough in validating my data with what they have. What I liked about Parent Renewal is that I told them, you cannot give me more work. You cannot ask me to generate an Excel file every month. I don't have the time. I don't have 5 minutes. If you take the data, then I can consider you. It is not more work. Now that the team got access to my patent data, you create the reports every month, and it has worked well since September. This is about 20%. So far, I'm happy. And I think it's good that, the Forex exchange deposit, we have some funds that we didn't use. And I like the fact that I can get them back because that is actually very good for my internal customers to tell them, well, I changed provider to get a better deal. And that here is this they didn't use and you get it back. So that's actually pretty good psychologically for the internal customer. It was good. It's a highly automated company, but also the human touch is present. They are quite responsive. Like there's this help address, general address, but several people are looking at it. So if one is on holiday, somebody will look at it. So it does feel good to have a person reply and not a chatbot. It's good that the human factor is there too. Certainly, I would invite them to provide their invoices, like to do the legwork of gathering the invoices, because then you have better data for a comparison that is more accurate. Yeah, so if somebody's not happy with what they're paying, I would definitely say, well, take contact and see what they can do for you. So far, so good, and I'm very satisfied.